Hi everyone. So I just wanted to make a quick video on checking the 3D. First of all, I was listening to Emmett Fox's 7-day mental diet. If you don't know about it, I might post it in my community tab. And it got me thinking about the number one thing of, halts in our manifestation is really because we are either questioning where it is or we're questioning the process. And even if we're not even thinking that we're doing that, the moment that we decide to look at the 3D to think about where it is or it hasn't happened yet is a moment that we are giving power to the 3D. So it got me thinking that if we develop the habit of detaching ourselves from the 3D through doing physical things, physical activities with our hands, and distracting ourselves with doing things that completely take our mind off what is actually going on in our 3D. And we do this over a period of time, and for 1 week it should start to seep into our mind and into our body that this is what we are doing, that we are not looking outside for validation. We're keeping our thoughts on what it is that we want, and as we continue to do this, our manifestation should appear up much quicker, because manifestation is, I mean, it's instant really, but it is a byproduct of where you are in your mindset. And if we are continuing to look outside of us for validation, we're always going to be seeking for validation. So the moment we wake up in the morning, if we keep our mind straight away on what it is that we want, instead of thinking in a second that it hasn't happened yet, redirect and say, no, that's not true anymore. It just manifested yesterday. Or just keep your mind doing these things. When you go to look at the 3D, for example, if you're picking up your phone to look for evidence, or if you're looking outside, say you're just looking for evidence just to reflect back to you whatever it is that you're manifesting, stop yourself in the moment and say, no, my 3D will reflect my 4D. It is reflecting my 4D because it is always reflecting our 4D, because our 3D is reflecting where we are on our thoughts. So if we continue to redirect our thoughts, and just to really diligently do this for 1 week, after 7 days, as we start to form this habit within 7 days, you start to become less and less needing validation outside to prove that your manifestations are here. Because when we are manifesting, we can get into this whole cycle of affirming. And if we are affirming for a long period of time, we're going to start looking outside for validation. But if we can train our mind not to do this, and our body as well too, and usually it's with our physicalities, our movements. It's like if you're giving up cigarettes and you are given things to distract you from the urge of wanting to take a cigarette. So let's say, for example, you have maybe sucking a lollipop, for instance, instead of reaching for a cigarette, is because you are forming the habit of having something in your hand, and it's taking your mind off the cigarette in that moment. This is the same thing when we are manifesting as well too. So just try it just for 1 week. I thought I would just kind of create a little bit of a challenge just to see if we are really diligent in not checking the 3D, because it's the only thing I think that holds anything is wavering. Because really, the more you keep your mind on something, the more you affirm on something, you're creating it in that moment. And so the more you put intense energy and thought into it, which is you just keeping your thoughts on what it is that you want, it's going to show up in your reality, because it can be no other way. It's just the way everything is. It's like your reality right now is where you are in your state of mind. So with that in mind, then let's just try it. Let's just start a little kind of a challenge to not check the 3D for one whole week. And then when we do find ourselves maybe reaching for something, distract ourselves straight away, whether it's like picking up a book instead of picking up the phone, things like taking yourself out for a walk instead of checking things online, and things like that you can do, and keeping your thoughts on what it is that you want. And I know that when we wake up in the morning, our thoughts can automatically go to what happened the day before. If this happens where you're thinking about your manifestation, maybe you're thinking to yourself, it hasn't manifested, stop yourself and say, no, that just manifested yesterday, and go on with your affirmations, and continue to do this for a week. Be really, really diligent and focused on it, and to see what happens. So I just want to make a quick video on that, just to put the idea out there. And anyone can email me or anything at any time if you want any encouragement. As well too, it's okay to look at videos from your favorite coaches and things like that if you want, encouragement, just motivation to keep going, but not for validation, just to kind of keep yourself on the path of keeping your thoughts on what it is that you want and distracting yourself away from the 3D. Because after 7 days of doing this, it's like it'll start to become automatic, and as it becomes automatic, then you become more powerful, because you're not checking your 3D. You know that it's all in here in your imagination, and so it's going to reflect in your 3D eventually, because your 3D is always reflecting your 4D. So just wanted to make a quick video on that, and I'll chat to you soon.